From start to finish, from flower to honey, this book is going to tell us about how honey is made. And bees are really important to farms. If you go to a farm, you're likely to see a beehive because bees pollinate the flowers, and the flowers need pollination in order to create fruit. So if we didn't have bees, we wouldn't have corn, and if we didn't have bees, we wouldn't have apples, and if we didn't have bees, we wouldn't have pumpkins. Bees are really important on farms. So we're going to learn about how bees are helpful to farms, but also how they make yummy honey. So here's a table of contents, and that lists how you could find specific information that you might be interested in. And then there's the title page, Honey is a Sweet Treat. How is it made? And I don't know about you, but we have one of those honey bears at our house. They're really fun to have your honey from. Flowers open. Flowers start to open up each spring. There's a sweet juice called nectar inside each flower. Bees fly to the flowers. Bees fly from flower to flower. They are looking for nectar. Bees drink nectar. Bees have a tongue that's like a straw. They suck up nectar with their long tongues. And if you look at that picture really closely, you can kind of see their long tongues. Butterflies have long tongues like that too. That's where they get nectar from also. And butterflies are pollinators too. Bees fly home. Bees take the nectar to their home. A bee's home is its hive. The bees pass the nectar to other bees inside the hive. The wooden hives in this picture were built by people. So when the bees are collecting the nectar, their fuzzy legs also collect something called pollen from the flowers. And as they move from flower to flower, they pollinate. Bees are called pollinators. They pollinate the flowers, and that's what allows the flowers to grow fruit. Bees store the nectar. The bees put the nectar into a honeycomb. A honeycomb is made of wax. It has many holes in it. Bees fill each hole with nectar. The nectar dries and it turns into honey. Look at all those bees. And those honeycombs are hexagon shaped. A beekeeper takes the honeycomb. A beekeeper is a person who raises bees for their honey. The beekeeper takes the honeycomb out of the hive. The beekeeper wears special clothing. The clothing protects the beekeeper from bee stings. The beekeeper removes the honey. The beekeeper puts the honeycomb into a machine that spins. The spinning squeezes the honey out of the honeycomb. You see he's putting the frames from the beehive in there, and it's going to spin all the honey out. The beekeeper puts the honey in jars. The beekeeper drains the honey to remove bits of honeycomb, and the honey is poured into jars. The honey is sent to stores. Workers load the honey onto a truck, and the truck takes the honey to the grocery stores, and people buy the honey and take it home. Time to eat. The honey is ready to eat. Honey makes food taste sweet. It even tastes good all by itself. How do you like to eat honey? I like to eat honey on cornbread, or I like to have honey on a toasted cinnamon raisin bagel with peanut butter and honey. And I like to have honey in my tea with lemon, especially if I'm not feeling well. And here's the glossary. Remember, the glossary has some words that may be new to you, so you can always go look in the glossary to find out what they mean. So the words in this glossary are beekeeper. A beekeeper is a person who raises bees for their honey. A hive is what the bee home is called. Honeycomb is a wax container with many holes that bees fill with nectar. And nectar is the sweet juice that bees collect from flowers. And then on the right side of the page is the index. So if you wanted to find a specific focus, you could look up, like if you wanted to find out about hives, you could find it on page 10 and 14. An index is useful when you're looking for specific information. So now I want you to go to the seesaw activity and see what you need to do.